So let's discuss about slope of a line. So what is the meaning of slope of a line? Before that, what is the slope of a line, right? Let's say I draw a line like this. This is a line, and then what is the slope of a line? Slope of a line is basically talking about the angle the line is making with the positive x-axis, the tan of that angle, right? The slope is denoted by line m. So slope is like how steep is this line. Fundamentally, the value for that is basically tan of the angle theta, right? You understand this? This line, let's call this line 1 and line 2. This L2 is making more angle with x-axis. Let's call this as theta 2 and this theta 1. Because theta 1 is more than theta 2, tan theta 1 would be generally greater than tan theta 2. I am talking about this because I know theta 1 theta 2 are between 0 to 90, right? Both of them are less than 90 and greater than 0, right? These angles theta 1 and theta 2. That's when this is true, not always. Tan 180 or tan 135 or negative, tan 135 is a negative value. So don't take the universal, but as and when the line keeps steeper and steeper, so obviously let's say this is another line I'm talking about, L3, this will be even more angle and that will be also greater. So the slope of lines are increasing. That's a very fundamental thing you need to understand. There will be 4 types of slopes, I would say. L1, L2, L3 have positive slope. Right, let's say I'm drawing a line like this. Right, this is L4. It has a negative slope. Okay, before we get into this negative and positive slope, let me first also explain you another way to find the slope. The slope is not always given in this way, that I need to know the angle to find out the slope. Is just one of the possible ways. The other way that generally questions would also ask is by giving you points. Let's say this line, okay, I'll pick a point like this. Let's call this point as, okay, let me take a point like this, which is 4 comma 2. I know this line is not exactly at this point, but approximately, and this point I'll take, this is 0 comma minus 2, right? That is this point and this point. What is the slope of the line joining these 2 points? I know it's a positive slope, I clearly tell you, right? That's what I've been telling you for this part, positive slope. So what is the formula if I know 2 points called x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2? That's the slope of line, let's say AB, is calculated by formula y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. There's nothing wrong in taking something as y2. You know which point should be taken as this, or y1 and y2, don't worry, but maintain the consistency. So I can't do y2 minus y1 and then x2 minus x1, that's wrong. So if b is taken as 2 and 2, then both should be 2, so I should start from this only. Let's take in this case, right, 4 2. So if I take this as my x2 comma y2, obviously this is my x1 comma y1. In that case, what is the slope of the line? Y2 is 2 minus y1 is minus of minus 2 by x2 is 4 minus of x1 is 0. So 2 minus of minus 2 is 4 by 4 is 1, right? The slope is 1. You can also do obviously the same, basically, where I take this to be x2 comma y2 and this is x1 comma y1, and do it. That is minus 2 minus of minus 2 is 2 and then 0 minus 4. That is also going to give me minus 4 by minus 4, that's 1, which is the same answer. Right, as I said, just maintain the consistency of which you take as x1, y1, and x2, y2. Don't mess up that. That's very important in slope. I see some students doing mistake in that part. Now, as I said that this lines are slope positive, right? Let me show this example. Take this value as minus 4 comma 2 and let me take, let's assume this point again 0 comma 2, like a line joining this and this point, like a line like this. I know this will have negative slope, so let me prove that. So minus 4 comma 2 and 0 comma minus 2, right? So I am taking this as y2, 2 minus of minus 2 by minus 4 minus 0. So that is 4 by minus 4 is minus 1. So this is a negative slope. Another way to look at it is also this. What is the angle made by positive? Don't take this angle, right? This is wrong. Take always the angle made by the line with positive x-axis. I mean to say this part, not this side. To the right side fundamentally. This is like, let's say approximately 135 degrees, what it is saying. Tan 135 minus 1. So sort of, that's what this would be. right? Any line greater than 90 degrees to 180 would be basically a negative slope. Tan 90 to 180 will be negative, tan 0 to 90 will be positive. And then you have another two cases. Let me slightly change the color to, maybe let me erase this for now. Yeah. Sometimes you might see something like this. These are horizontal lines, and another line could be something like this. So this line is similar to the y-axis, right? It's parallel to it. And this line is parallel to the x-axis, right? So this one, what is the slope made by the line? This line, which is basically x-axis, it is making 0 degrees with this x-axis. So the x-axis, basically the slope of a line like this, which is on x-axis, is basically, that is tan 0 is 0. A line on y-axis, right, is making 90 degrees with the right side of x-axis. So that is, this line slope is tan 90. Tan 90 is 1 by 0, is like, infinite or undefined, whatever the way you look at, that's what it is. 1 by 0 is what you need to take it as, right? So these are also another case. You might see positive slope, negative slope, or 0, or maybe something like undefined if it's a vertical line like this. Slope of parallel lines, I'll come to that. Let's talk about slope of parallel lines. So let's say I know this y, okay, I was talking about this line, right? What is the slope of this line? As I said, this is, let me take another line like this, which is parallel to x-axis, right? There is L1 on x-axis and another line L2 which is parallel to this. This one would also have the slope 0. Slopes of parallel lines are equal, right? If it is parallel lines, the slopes are equal. Let's say I have a line like this, and there's another line which is parallel, okay, like line 10 and line 11, for example. These two are parallel, the slopes would be equal. M11 and M10 have equal slopes. Slopes of perpendicular lines have a policy like this, that the product of the slopes would be equal to -1. Let's have perpendicular lines, the product of the slope, like let's say this line 1 is M1 slope and line 2 is M2, product of that will be equal to -1. So M1 is this. Let's take, okay, I say that a line L9 slope is, this is positive or negative? Imagine, think about it. It would be positive, right? Understand that part. This is a positive slope. If you ever have a doubt, just take approximately two values and see, and then you will get it. Lines like this have negative, lines like this have positive slope. So positive slope, let's just take for example 1 by 2. Okay, that's what this one looks like, right? What will be the slope of this line, which is perpendicular to this? As I said, this will be having automatically negative slope, as I said, right? This one is positive and lines like this look negative. So this is also something like this. So it should have negative. But anyways, let's talk about line 8. This is line 8 and this is line 9. So line 9 is 1 by 2. So product of this 1 by 2 into this line slope should be equal to, because I'm saying they are perpendicular. So automatically m by m8 is coming slope is -2. So that's a negative slope. That's how you find the slope of perpendicular lines. Similarly, if I know that this is 0, what is the slope of this y-axis which is perpendicular? Automatically, this is 0. This should be m1 into m2, not m2. Let's say this is m3, okay? m3 is equals to -1. So m1 is 0. So 0 into m3 is -1 and m3 is -1 by 0. So anyway, -1 by 0, 1 by 0 is all undefined in math. And anything in 0 in the denominator is undefined. Sometimes you can call it infinite, but that's how it works, right? Now let's solve a simple problem again on the slope. So 2 points, as we recommend, pass it, try this question. So a 2 comma 4 is this, and 3 -3 comma 2 is this point is b. So before I find out the slope using the formula, tell me whether this should be positive or negative. It should be positive, right? The formula, let me take a as x1 comma y1 and this is x2 comma y2. The slope of line AB would be y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, right? So -2 by -5, that's 2 by 5 is the slope of this line, This is the slope of line AB. The question is asking what is the slope of a line perpendicular to AB. So let's say there's a line like this which is perpendicular to AB. Let's call this as line 1. The slope of AB into slope of this perpendicular line should be equal to minus 1. That's the principle, right? Product of perpendicular lines, slope of product of slopes of perpendicular lines is 1 minus 1. So 2 by 5 into the product of this perpendicular line is minus 1. So ML1 is minus 5 by 2. That's the answer for this. And what is the slope of the parallel line to the LAB? So let's say there's another line L2 which is parallel to AB. So AB is parallel to L2. What is the slope of L2? Is equal to the slope of AB, that is 2 by 5. That's the answer for this. Right? That's how you find the slopes.